friends, it's Ollie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in, and for the returners, thank you for coming back. So today I have a different kind of video. We're going to be talking about how to transform yourself in 2025. And particularly, we're going to be looking at how to identify the habits that are keeping you from where you want to be and how to actually change out those habits in practical ways and create habits that will actually stick. Returners know the drill, but for my new friends, go ahead and get a snack, get a drink, hit the subscribe button down below, and let's get into the video. So the first part of transforming yourself this 2025 is obviously going to be habit identification and frankly introspection. And what I mean by this is you can't really make change if you don't know what you need to change. It's not really enough to be like, I'm gonna work on myself. You have to get a lot more specific and granular on what you're actually gonna do and what work you actually need to do. It's very easy to be like, I'm gonna work on myself and improve myself. But the hell does that mean? That can mean anything. So I think for me, what I usually do is I like to separate my life kind of into categories. So I look at it from the internal versus the external, appearance, financial. I look at it from a relationship standpoint. I look at it from a physical fitness standpoint, which basically goes with the external and how I feel about my appearance. But separating my life into kind of 5 or 6 different buckets, and then that kind of helps me to clearly identify the things that I feel like I need to work on. So for me, last year I did spend a lot of time with improving my physical fitness, which is still on the list for me. I'm always kind of trying to improve my physical fitness. I'm also someone who has severe asthma, so I feel like if I don't put a serious effort into my physical fitness, it quickly gets bad. I quickly deteriorate. So that's one thing. I think finances is always another goal for me, just getting to that next level. So just looking at your own bad habits or the areas of your life that you want to improve and really identifying and getting super granular on what it is you want to fix. It should be something that's bulleted, quick list, not an overarching kind of vague statement. It shouldn't be vague. It should be very clear what you want to work on. And then once you have that, we're gonna start by creating our circle of control. So this is something I've talked about in a previous video. I will link it up in the corner somewhere around here, maybe here. But essentially creating your circle of control is about creating an action plan on what you're gonna do each week and what you're actually going to focus your energy on. This is why I think it's important to get really granular with your habits and what it is that you want to improve on or get more routine with, because it's easy to be okay, I want to work out more often. You have to get even more granular than that. I want to go to the gym 5 times a week. That is a very specific, actionable goal. There's a quantity, there's a time and place, and there's a clear goal. You're not just saying, I want to work out more. No, I want to hit 3 days a week. So that's what you're going to kind of write out for your circle of control. I personally like 3s, so I always start with 3 things. You can start with however many you feel good, and if you only want to focus on one, then only focus on one. But I do really feel like a great way to build new habits is not to do too much at once. First, about focusing on what habits you want to create and then prioritizing those and saying, all right, what are we going to tackle first? What are we going to kind of work in parallel and habit stack, which we will get into? Or what is the one thing I'm just going to zone in on for this week? The only focus is making sure we go to the gym 4 times. That's it. Or for me, a lot of times it's making sure I take my medication every single day, making sure that I am moving my body every single day, even if it's not a whole workout, 30 minutes of movement, go walk around, do something, don't be sitting down all day long, and posting on TikTok once a day. Those are all very actionable goals, things that I can control, that even if I have a crazy week, I know I can still hit these 3 things. So with having a circle of control, I do really think it's important to habit stack. So by habit stacking, it's essentially taking something that you already do and adding a new habit on top of it, so that now when you go to do X, you always do Y. So for instance, for me, I always brush my teeth right after I take my medication. So it's always a reminder to me in the morning, when I take my inhaler, I have to brush my teeth after. So if I'm going to brush my teeth and I'm oh, but I haven't taken my inhaler, I will stop, go take my inhaler, and then go brush my teeth. That way I remember to take my medication because I was gonna brush my teeth anyways. That's a perfect example for habit stacking. Another thing you can do is kind of double habit stack, meaning if you have things that you're adding in your circle of control that you want to add to your day-to-day, you can kind of do them all at once. So for instance, some weeks my circle of control may be making sure that I walk every night, post dinner, making sure that I'm taking my medications or my supplements, and reading. Now after dinner, instead of just sitting on the couch, after dinner I will go take my vitamins, I will pull out my walking pad, and I will walk and read at the same time. That way I'm hitting every single habit, and I'm not really changing anything else in my day, but adding in like 30 minutes of when I'm gonna target it, along with something I was already gonna do anyways. I was already gonna eat dinner, so instead of just eating dinner and sitting down, let me eat dinner and add this 30 minutes of whatever actions I said I was gonna do and get those done. Another way that you can really solidify some of your new habits in 2025 is by having an accountability partner. This is not something that I do a lot, but I have a lot of friends that do this, people that do this kind of with their partners, even though they don't verbally say they're being accountability partners. They're kind of keeping each other accountable. Like my best friend and her husband always work out together, but it doesn't mean every single day they do. But I've noticed even when I hang out with them, like he'll say, okay, I'm going to the gym, and then she will start working out at that same time. And even though they're not together, they're kind of like accountability partners. So if you're someone that sometimes you kind of need someone else to kind of keep you accountable, I think this is the route for you to go. This way you can also make it fun. You know, this is personally why I don't do it, because like a lot of my habits are things that it wouldn't make sense to do with a partner. Like I'm not gonna have my friend call me to take my medication. I feel like that's a little extra. Like if you want to work out more, that's an easy thing to do. If you want to read more, you can start a book club with some friends. Those are your accountability partners. So using your social network, using your friends and your family, and lean on them and telling them, hey, I want to have this happen and do it more, and now you can have someone else to do it with you. I feel like accountability partners are an easy thing to do and a really great way to solidify new habits. Another way to solidify new habits is by making the old habit harder to do while making the new habit easy. So for instance, when I wanted to get better at taking vitamins every single day, I noticed that part of the reason why it was hard for me to take the vitamins was that I had to get up and I had to go get it out of the cabinet. I had to open up 4 different bottles, you know, like it was a little bit of a song and dance. So one way that I made it easy for me to take my vitamins and my medication was to get like a weekly organizer. I got one that was Sunday through Saturday, and each like pill capsule has morning and night. So something like that, like just taking time at the beginning of the week and filling that out, has made it easier because the medication's already grouped together. It's something really simple that just makes your life a little bit easier. And another way I made it almost harder for me to not take my medication was that I put it on the counter. So I actually put it in front of my air fryer. So now most nights when I'm going to make dinner, I use my air fryer almost every night. The medication's right there. Stop, take it, and then go. Because before it's like, okay, I have to go into the cabinet, I gotta pull them all out, da da da. Now it's like, it's actually easier for you to grab it and take it than it is if you let it go and now you have to come back to the kitchen to go get it. That's an easy way to like get your habits really down pat, is to make the old habit harder while making the new habit easier. And this might also require leaning on your network. So like if you live with people and you say you want to eat healthier, another way that you can make it easier for yourself to eat healthier is by kind of telling the people like, hey, I'm trying to eat healthier, so let's try to keep X, Y, and Z, you know, out of the fridge or out of my eyesight. So if you buy this, don't leave it, don't leave it in the cabinets, keep it in your room or something like that. So then it's like, okay, now it's harder for me to have the sweet because I have to go to you to get it. And like now you don't want to ask for it. So something like that where you can either lean on like your friends, your family, or just like moving things geographically in your space, making it easier to access, hiding things that you don't want to get. Those are easy ways to like make and break habits. And then the last thing I'm going to say around transforming yourself and really breaking down and creating new habits in 2025 is not being afraid to revise. So if you start going down one path and you realize, you know, I'm not actually sticking to this habit, it's not working, it's okay to stop, replan, and then go at it again. I feel like a lot of people have this idea of like, I have to set out this perfect plan in the beginning and execute, when in reality it's a very iterative process. Being willing to iterate, being willing to come back to the drawing board, and or even being willing to say, all right, you know, I've been working on this for a little bit, I'm starting to get frustrated with it, let's let that go and let's focus on this other aspect of my life, and being able to pivot, because at the end of the day, all the habits that you're creating and you're maintaining are going to be with you for the rest of your life. So there is really no rush on making sure that this is done today or tomorrow. It's better that you focus on being consistent and actually maintaining the habits that you're creating. So if you made it to this part of this video, then I hope you're feeling a little bit better and excited about about how you're going to transform your life and your habits here in 2025. Let me know in the comments anything that you're doing that I didn't mention, because I'm always looking for new tricks that I can do myself. As always, please give this video some love if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.